Africa to North America to everywhere. So, welcome to the Breakfast of Champions call. This is your host and your MC, James Zhang. So, it's an honor to be here with you today. And I got a question for you, but have you ever felt like in your business, in your life, in your relationship, somewhere in your life, you feel like you've been working hard and for some reason you're stuck? You feel like you're running on the treadmill of life. You feel like you're just not breaking through and you're scratching your head and you're wondering why. Well, today I want to share with you a message that impacted me. Literally, this is inspired by a conversation from my greatest personal development coach and mentor, my wife, Becky, who here knows that marriages really make you better, right? Um, but the question that I have for you is this is, are you fighting for your limitations? Are you fighting for your limitations? And I know right when I ask that question, if you're anything like me, my automatic answer is, of course not. I got this. I'm coachable. I'm humble. I'm learnable and everything. But I want to encourage you and challenge you to listen with an open eye, open heart, open mind, open ears, because here's the facts is that if the results in your life are not to your liking, there are reasons why they are not. And the only person that can actually change your results is you and me. So, are you ready to go on this journey with me? So, I'll give you the story. Um, I love marriage because marriage is that one place that God pairs a person with you that is able to be brutally honest with you where no one else can. I believe it's one of the greatest sharpening tools in the world. And we had a discussion. I don't know how you call it, but in the Zhang household, we call them discussions. They could be heated, they could be emotional, they can be intense. And we're in a phase of our life now where we have a new baby, 5 months old, baby Jaden, love him to death. We've been married for almost 10 years now. And we've been in business together for longer. Actually, me and my wife Becky have been in business for longer than we've been dating and married. We've been in business together for 14 years. We run a global international organization called the Champions Network, and we help people to run in a six-figure blueprint, sell these cool skinny drops online, and have some amazing things. And we're on a lot of growth right now. We had a discussion yesterday, and I don't know if guys you've ever had this happen before, but your spouse will bring up a suggestion to you, well meaning, on business, on life, on anything, and male ego kicks in. I'm like, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this. And this isn't just male ego, but who here in your life before has ever had a well meaning suggestion, a coach, a mentor, a friend, a loved one? They gave you a good suggestion, but we were quick to bat it down. And we were talking about business and we are talking about results in a certain area in our business. And my initial response was, we got this, of course. And she had to sit me down. She's like, James, this result, this pattern has been the same for the last year. And you keep on saying the same thing every time. And yet the results have still been the same. Have you thought about this? And after a little bit, I quenched down the ego and I started to actually listen. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's like the veil was torn. It's like you have that epiphany moment, you have that awareness, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I see exactly what was happening. And you know what was happening? I was fighting for my limitations. I don't know about you, I'll just be honest with myself. I am so good at justifying why things are the way that they are. How about you? I always have a story. Let's say business. Well, life's busy and I couldn't hit that goal because, you know, baby Jaden's acting up and, I'm running this global business and, I want to make sure our marriage is great. And, I'm doing my best and it all sounds good, right? It all is real. These are valid things. But when I have a question to why my results are a certain way in an area in my life, my first initial gut instinct is to give a list of reasons why the limitations are there. And I'm not saying that none of those reasons that we have are not valid. They are. You've had a tough life, for example. You've had things that people did to you. You've had people betray you. You've had promises not go in. You only have 24 hours in a day. You got to get your rest. All of these different things are very valid. But what I realized in the midst of this conversation is I realized that while they're valid, why am I fighting to keep my limitations? And I realized that if I wanted to have different results, then I needed to have a different attitude about what was actually happening. You see, champions are the types of people that they do look at the reality of things. We have things that are truly happening in our life, challenges, problems, things that are there. But how does a champion actually respond? This is how I should have chosen to respond, and I will continue to choose to respond. You might want to jot down this note. Jim Rohn said this: dealing with the results, a story doesn't fit in the box. A story doesn't fit in the box. You see, champions are the ones that are results driven. Champions are the ones that know that our job is to bring out whatever fruit there is in our business, in our life, and the things that we're driving towards. And yes, we can have a million details to the story, but the story doesn't fit in the box. And so many of us, I'll just speak on myself, we spend a lot of our time and energy trying to crunch this big story in the box. Why? So that we can prevent ourselves from actually confronting the true reality of things. So we can prevent ourselves to actually doing the hardest thing in our life. And what's the hardest thing to do in our life? Take accountability, take ownership, take responsibility. As I was in this discussion with my wife, and after I stopped to put up my ego, and then I started to look at the actual things that was in the box, I realized, I'm like, you know what? You know why I'm fighting for my limitations? Here's the real truth. It's easier to stay limited, isn't it? It's easier to lean on my excuses, isn't it? It's easier to say this happened, this didn't happen, this person did this to me, this person didn't do this to me. Well, you see what's going on. How can you expect anything different? That's easy. Why? Because we're just staying the same. It's easy to stay the same. It's average. But you're a champion. Champions don't settle for the average. Champions don't settle for the mediocre. They do the things that other people are not willing to do. And that's why you're going to have results in a life that other people are not able to get. So, what do champions do when it comes to your results, when it comes to your limitations? They confront that and they own it. And there's no excuse. I'm looking at my business. I earn X amount of income. I don't like it. What do I not do? I don't justify. I'm not like, well, give it some time. Well, this happened. Well, blah, 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 blah. I want us to challenge yourself. Think to yourself in your results that you're trying to change in your life right now. Are you filling the box with a whole bunch of stories? Or here's what champions do. They say, this is my result. I don't like it. I take full ownership of it. And this is what I'm going to change. No time for a story. No room for a sob story. No reason for any type of excuse. Those stories only are meant to be there to guard yourself. They don't help the people you're serving. They don't help feed baby Jaden. They don't help support my wife. They don't help support your family member. Does this make sense, guys? I want us to really just challenge our natural response because I have to be aware of this every single day. You see, our mind is locked. If we want to shift the results in our life, we have to shift the subconscious beliefs we have. We have to shift the paradigms that we have. And we all have beliefs about why we are where we are in our lives right now and the different aspects that we have. So we have to be active. We have to stand guard in the mind. We have to take proactivity. We have to refuse the natural excuses and justifications. And we have to step into a new layer of accountability. We're walking our team right now through a cool promotion of helping people get to a Punta Cana trip. We have a lot of people that said, I'm in. And now we have the countdown that's going on. And week after week, the time gets less. There's some that are taking accountability and responsibility, saying, I'm in it to win it. And this week, I'm taking it to the next step. There's others, myself included, where life is getting in the way. I'll get to it later. I'm doing my best. I'm showing up right. But is that actually enough? Today, I want to challenge us. Can we take true accountability on the areas in our life that we truly want to change? And can we start to shift the attitude and shift the actions from that? So, the story in the box. Sat down with my wife yesterday, and thank God for a very patient wife. I'm very hard headed, all right? But she got through to me, and I realized where I went wrong. And what did I do instead? And what should we do instead? I replayed the situation, I replayed the suggestion, I replayed the actual circumstance. And I said, let me just restart this time. And I encountered and I faced up the reality once again. Then I relinquished the right to give my story because the story only helps me, it doesn't help her. Then I took full ownership. Then I said, you know what, babe? I see our business, I see our marriage, I see our life, I see my health is the way that it is right now. I don't like it. I want something different. And you know what? This is what I'm going to do different. No time for the story, no time for the excuse, no reason to wallow in the sorrow. It's already been done. There's also no condemnation. There's also no guilt. There isn't this woe is me, oh, I suck, any of these types of feelings. There's no blame on her. There's no blame on anyone else. It's simply you and the box. I see this result. I don't like it. This is what I'm going to do to change and watch me do it. Period. If we committed to facing any challenge in our life, any result that we don't like in our life, this way, how different would your business be? How different would your finances be? Well, James, I've always been in debt and see my family, and this is just how it's going to be. And it's so hard to make money. Do you want to fight for those limitations? Well, James, relationships has always been tough. I haven't had good examples. My parents are divorced, and I've been through some bad stuff. I've been hurt in the past. Do you want to hold on to that story? Well, James, I've been in this business for a long time, and it just seems like everyone else is more popular and just gets more sales than me. And it's always been hard for me. And I'm just not one of those types of people that succeeds in a business like this. Okay. Are you willing to fight for those limitations? I want to challenge you today. Confront that story, take full ownership, knock it down, and shift your paradigm, shift your story. Instead of being in that relationship that was always traumatic, just be like, that was the past. Now I'm committed. I'm going to be the type of person that has amazing, loving relationships that everyone's going to want to know that when they're with me, they're in the best of hands. How about in your health? Today, I just put down all excuses of the past why I cannot be healthy. And I am committed to being the type of person that does the daily action steps because my family deserves it. I deserve it. I'm doing it right now. My business, my finances. Okay, I've done it wrong in the past. I've learned my lessons. Today, I'm committed to cutting that off and recommitted to a brand new reality of my future. From now on, I'm the type of person that money comes to me simply. I'm the type of person that solves other people's problems. I'm the type of entrepreneur that people want to work with and are praying to partner with. I am committed to a brand new reality. I have let go of my past limitations and my story, and I've accepted a brand new story. Will you do that with me today? If you will, I will promise you your life will change. Mine already has, just from that conversation yesterday. All right. So if it's okay if I'm raw and real with you guys, we're all broken. We all got stuff. We're all on this journey of success and growing together. But if you're able to just be real with yourself and just start to move forward, you too will be a champion in all areas of your life. All right. Well, other than that, I hope this was encouraging. If you want to hear this, maybe share this with someone. You can catch us in the replays on bocpodcast.com for more. Love you all. So proud of you. I'll toss it back to you. Have a